Hello, and a very warm welcome to this module where we will be considering the steps required to become a chartered engineer with the IMechE. IMechE chartered engineer application process is as follows. The first step is for you to check your qualifications. So contact the IMechE for this. And if everything is okay, you complete the applications form. Make sure you use the UK-SPEC and we can help you with producing your report. Afterwards, get two sponsors. So they should be people who are fairly knowledgeable about what you have done, preferably people who are chartered. And then you submit your application. Make sure that you have it proofread by your colleagues, someone who can help you with proofreading, and also ensure that your sponsors have had a good read so they can provide feedback. Afterwards, you would be invited to attend the professional review interview with the IMechE. And if you're successful, you become a chartered member of the IMechE.
So we've got some examples of action words. So feel free to use them, and also feel free to explore and discover other action words that could be relevant. Now we come to the most important bit, the report, the professional registration report. Now I'll just go through some of the points we've stated here. So basically, one thing you have to know is that it's not a CV. Um, it's not a list of your work achievements. So it's basically a demonstration of your knowledge and your understanding and your ability to assimilate that knowledge and understanding in the discharge of your duties. Most importantly, it is a statement of your competence and how you can demonstrate that the competencies you have against the competencies specified in the UK-SPEC. Now, the useful questions to ask yourself as you write each paragraph is, what was the project, right? What was the business challenge, or what was the business need? What was your role in that project? What exactly did you do? And what were your contributions? How exactly did you do it? And what were the outcomes? And finally, what difference did it make to the business or to your company? So one thing you have to bear in mind is that as you prepare for the application and as you prepare for your interview, the ultimate question you should be prepared to answer is, what difference did it make to the business? How much did you save your company, for instance? Now, answers to these questions need to provide competency evidence which can be married alongside the UK-SPEC competence profiles. So you have to be careful in the action words you use. So things like leading, pioneering, managing, those are the sort of words that we would like to see. So you should avoid, if you plan to go for the CEng route, at least, you should avoid using words like coordinate, support, review, oversee. So for the CEng, whoever is assessing your report will be looking to see that you are leading things, you've got a high level of responsibility. So that's very important. So try to look for projects that will show innovation. So for the CEng, basically we are looking at strategy. So that's the key word, strategy, rather than looking at the tactical side. So very important. Or you may be employing emerging technology, or perhaps you may be inventing new technology. And if you have got people working for you, it's important that you mention that. If you make a statement and you think the assessor is, the assessor is not too sure about what you've said, then perhaps you might need to reward your report. So presentation is very, very important, and ensure that your paragraphs do not have long lead-ins. Try to go straight to the point. Tell us exactly what you did and how you did it. So limit it to say 5 lines. So that's a rough, to give you an idea of how lengthy your paragraph should be. And you need to give your application the best shot first time. I mean, you don't want the panel coming back to you asking for supplementary information. You've got to tighten all loose ends. And I usually like this sentence: you shouldn't just knock on the door of chartership. You need to kick it open, wide open. You've got to wow the assessors and make your submission stand out from the dozens and dozens that pass under their noses. So quality is more important than quantity. So if you plan to start your report, how do you start it? So this is what I normally advise candidates. So you start off by listing the major projects that you have delivered upon, projects you've executed, and try to see, basically you write bullet points and see how each task can be mapped to the UK competence. So you should use your CV or your competence dossier as a guide. So remember, you're not writing your CV. All you're doing is you're looking at your CV, you're looking at what you have accomplished over the years, and then you extract information from your CV. So that's the aim. So we'll look at an example of this is a paragraph on A2. So the A2 competence is engaging in creative and innovative development. Now you would see that this competence, this example actually provides us with good information. So some of them have been highlighted in red. So some of the questions that you expected to provide answers to. So whilst working as a lead design engineer, so that's clear. Everyone knows what exactly your role was. At the supersonic power plant, I developed, so we know exactly what you did. You developed a new technology. So you developed a new data logging system for the turbine control system. That's very good. So why was this necessary? This was necessary because the existing data logging system of the turbine control system was obsolete and unsustainable. In addition, the data printing system was slow, and there was frequent occurrence of paper jams leading to significant downtime. So you have given us very good context and we know what the problem was. Now, what exactly did you do? I designed and implemented the new system using LabVIEW. More details on the design will come under a different competence, but here you're just talking about your ability to be creative and to innovate. So in addition to designing and implementing the new system, I also incorporated a functionality to log the turbine data onto log files in dedicated computers, allowing users to format the data before sending it for printing. I also provide specification for a replacement printing system. The new system has eliminated downtime related to maintenance of the previous system. So the candidate has told us what the new system does and the benefits the new system brings to the business. So very, very important. Interview. It's a special job interview, if you like, because basically you're talking about what you did. The only difference is you are to present your major achievements using the UK-SPEC as a guide. So, like I said earlier, your registration report has been studied by the panel beforehand, and so they must have had an impression already. So it's now your task to sound very confident and present your competence in a clear and logical manner, and also ensure that you have revised your reports and you are in a position to explain everything therein if called upon to
The
do
end
so.
of the
So
professional
we can
registration
provide you
interview,
with
you'll be
mock
asked to add
professional
anything
registration interviews
that's not been
to help
covered.
you prepare
So
for the
this is your
interview.
chance to
We
ask
can
any
also
burning
help you
question or
prepare
say
your
something
slides
that you
if
thought
you are
will be
struggling
asked in the
in that
interview.
regard.
Something to
So
note is
something
that
that you think is
the application
fantastic in your
form
career
that you
may be
submitted,
something that
obviously,
happened
is the
since you
basis for the
submitted your application
questions
during
form.
the interview.
For instance, you have
So it's
been
important to
promoted
have a
to a new
copy
role
of the application form with you during the interview.
You'll be asked to clarify certain statements that you've made in your application, and do not use jargon or do not use too many abbreviations without explaining them initially. And during the professional registration interview, they'll be asked questions that are directly related to your application. The success rate for the interview is over 90%. So that's pretty good. It means that most people who attend the interview are successful. Now, this is very important to bear in mind because lots of people get very anxious about the process and they get stressed at the thought of doing an interview. So please bear in mind that if you are in front of the interview panel, it means that on paper, you look like a strong applicant. With regards to questions on health and safety during the professional registration interview, when you are asked about health and safety at work and safe systems of work, please do not say things like, I am a registered first aider, or I am a fire warden, or I use the right personal protective equipment. These are a given and they are not relevant at all to the question on health and safety in terms of what you should provide as a competence example. So, what is expected is for you to tell us about your involvement in health and safety through your professional engineering conduct. So, what safety policies did you put in place to make people work safer? Did you design pressure vessels? Do you design safety systems? Do you review risk assessments? Do you prepare risk assessments? Are you responsible for permits for work within your organization? And do you work to CDM regulations or pressure systems regulations? During the professional registration interview, if you are asked a question about sustainable development, please do not talk about being for instance, the recycling champion within your organization. What is actually expected is for you to provide examples of where you helped to avoid pollution or examples of where you reused materials or examples of where you selected materials that resulted in energy efficiency. So, granted, not everyone is heavily involved in sustainable initiatives. However, you need to be able to relate what you do to something that is appropriate to sustainability. Okay, so refer to the model questions and answers for interviews that we've provided for more um, detailed and model answers to questions on sustainability. During the interview, the assessors will ask you what was the most challenging or interesting or rewarding and satisfying project that you've worked on. They will also ask you about your commitment to the profession. And this is the time to bring out your role as a STEM ambassador or as someone who helps with graduate recruitment. So, what next after becoming chartered? You could apply to become a professional mentor with the IMechE, or you could consider applying to become a chartered manager. You can also consider applying to become a fellow of the IMechE in the future. Thank you very much for joining us on this module. Do not hesitate to contact us if you need any mentorship support for any stage of the chartership process. Thank you very much and see you in the next module.